This is Sportscentre.
Hey, we're serving on what feels like a weekly tradition. We gotta talk Connor McDavid's extension talks. Bring out the McDavid watch. Thanks to a spicy comment from the Oilers captain a few days ago. When asked of whether he'd be open to a short-term deal, McDavid said this.
I said all options are on the table, and that would mean length of term, short-term, long-term. Yeah, no term.
Did you catch that at the end?
Short-term, long-term. Yeah, no term.
No term? Come on, Connor. Those two words have social media buzzing, and for good reason. It's now been more than 2 months since McDavid became eligible for extension, but still no deal. And sure, we've seen star players sign extensions late in the offseason, including Sidney Crosby last year, but that was when Sid was already 37. And when he was in the prime of his career, the Penguins had both of his extensions locked up early in the summer. So it begs the question from McDavid and the Oilers. What the heck is taking so long? It's not like it's a cap space issue, as Edmonton is projected to have nearly $45 million available next year. So is there something else going on? Our guy Marty Braun rightly pointed out on That's Hockey, if it was as simple as making him the NHL's highest paid player, the deal would already be done. So the fact that nothing has happened is definitely cause for concern, but until he signs an extension, these conversations will not be going anywhere. And if the deal isn't done once the season rolls around, expect eyes to be on McDavid and the Oilers all year long. I'm just gonna keep manifesting during this very powerful time in the universe that McDavid comes to Toronto. Just keep envisioning him wearing a maple leaf. That sounds fun, no? To the NFL, and yesterday the show staff headed to BMO for a great event, as the Buffalo Bills and MLSC announced a new multifaceted partnership to help grow the game of football here in Canada. And we got some time with two guys who know both the city of Buffalo and Toronto real well, and asked both Doug Flutie and Vince Carter to compare the two fan bases.
I've never seen anything quite like a Buffalo Bill fan. They're not normal, and they love the fact that they're not normal. That's just the way it is. I went to a game last year. It's in a snowstorm. They embrace it, and they're breaking tables and having the parties like this is what we wanted. They call it Buffalo weather. We call it CFL weather, though. It's amazing. It's very similar in the fact that take a lot of pride in getting out of Sky Dome, getting out of Rogers Center, and coming to an outdoor stadium, right? It's kind of a Canadian pride. No, we like the elements. We like the weather. So there's some similarities, but they're just not quite right down in Buffalo, and they love it that way.
You know, there's people say they're fans, and then there's the Bills Mafia fan. They're next level. But also getting the opportunity to walk not quite through Jurassic Park, but seeing that fandom, and it just seeing it grow. Like, I mean, this organization's been around for some years, but it's like Jurassic Park has become a thing, and the fandom is just it's nuts out there.
I don't think anybody in Toronto should be disagreeing that nothing really compares with Bills Mafia. And in case you're wondering, sad news, neither of them have been through a table.
I probably have gone through a table at some point in my life by accident as a kid. But no, I was tempted about 5 years ago to try it, and then I couldn't get to the situation to do it.
Okay.
I'm not ruling it out. I'm 62. As long as there is a stretcher and an ambulance close by, we might go for it.
No.
Sam.
No.
Looking forward to maybe trying?
Nope, not looking forward to it.
Kind of sounds like Flutie wants to go through a table though, no? To baseball, and my God, that was a wild one at the Dome last night, as the Jays battled back to force extras, then win it in a dramatic walk-off in the 10th. Oh, which you just love to see, especially going into that game knowing that Bo Bichette was out. Don't worry, we're gonna get to that in a minute. But you know we gotta bring up those standings first, because the lead in the AL East is back up to 3, as the Yankees got absolutely demolished by the Tigers. And with the Sox win over the A's, Boston is now tied with the Yankees, also 3 back from the Jays. And the bad news that I mentioned off the top is that they will continue to be without Bo Bichette, who was placed in the 10-day IL yesterday, which is just awful timing, and I hear it might be longer. Because Bichette's been absolutely scorching of late. Just look at those splits! But listen, Jays fans, it's a powerful time in the universe, as I mentioned off the top of the show. Just manifest that Bo Bichette will return before the playoffs. The good news for Toronto tonight, though, is that Shane Bieber is back on the bump. He looked great in his first 2 starts, shaky in his 3rd, and okay in his 4th. So for Jays fans' sake, they probably want to see a good performance tonight, as he only has a handful of starts left before the playoffs begin. Bieber seems like a good vibey guy, though he wants to roll on the good vibes of last night's win, so it'll be a good one. Back to the ice where we had another spicy comment, this time from Jack Hughes, who in an interview with Pierre LeBrun was pretty open about wanting to play with his brother Quinn, saying, quote, "Honestly, I'm not afraid to say it. Yeah, I would love for Quinn to. Eventually, I'd love to play with him." The comment comes after a rough 2024 season for Quinn and the Canucks, which saw Vancouver miss the playoffs just a year after winning the Pacific. And even though Quinn is eligible for an extension next summer, his future in Vancouver seems a bit uncertain. Now, with these comments, it seems pretty clear that Jack is trying to recruit Quinn to the Devils, especially since their other brother Luke is already in New Jersey, and Jack's under contract with the Devils until 2030. But let's play devil's devil's advocate here. Is a team-up of the three actually possible in Vancouver? Canucks GM Jim Rutherford made it clear in April that Quinn was not a guy they could afford to lose. They even floated the idea of bringing Jack and Luke to Vancouver if it meant keeping Quinn in town. But how realistic is it actually? We're gonna say not very, even though I did live in Vancouver for a while. It is a nice little town. Things just close down around 9:30. Well, Quinn responded today saying, quote, I mean, he's my brother. What's he supposed to say? First of all, like, I don't want to play with him, you know? I mean, we have contracts and whatnot. He's on a different team. Would it be fun to play with those guys at some point? Of course. I think if you guys have brothers, you guys would say the same thing. But we do have contracts. Okay, let's finish the show back at BMO. Because while we already showed you our chats with Flutie and Vince, you need to experience how much fun that full MLSC Bills experience was in the latest edition of Roberto on the Go. Missed me, eh? It's a big day at BMO Field today. Look, we got producer Christopher Hine, we got Michael Antonazzi, we got the Cougine here. That means it's serious. Look at this line. Look at this line. We got something Bills, I bet. It absolutely is the Bills. It is MLSC, and they're coming together with an epic partnership. We are having a camp here for kids today as well. They're going to be playing flag football and getting advice from legends like Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Doug Flutie, Pinball Clemens, who says that of all the football players he's known,
Doug Flutie's my favorite.
After the presentation, we got to interview some of the grades. I got to chat with Vince Carter and Doug Flutie. Tracy McGrady stayed on the field, though, with the kids. What a day for football fans, eh?
Go Bills!
Okay. That's it for me today. We'll see you back in tomorrow at the Now Pacific. Have a good one.